think a lot of us are leaning too much to what I deserve versus what we can accomplish together.
That's a good start. This is Pat from Aries Nutrition. Give you a little deep thought before we even introduce who it is. So he's owner of Aries Nutrition. We're going to talk to him today a little bit about what he does, a little bit about the situations going on, and we're just going to have a conversation, see where it leads us, see what we can learn, and see what happens. So welcome,
guys. So definitely thank you so much for bringing me for a podcast. I've always been a talker. And then usually when I talk, it just goes downhill real quick. But in a good way. I always was big on expression. I love having conversations with an individual. I love having conversations with individuals that have different opinions of mine, because then it can become really like in depth. So just to be able to sit in front of somebody and talk, so underrated nowadays.
And hear what they have to say.
Yeah, I know, right? And actually listen to them. So thanks again for bringing me in.
Absolutely. I'm glad you were a free talker, because sometimes I run out of things to say. And when we were putting this together, I was saying, well, what am I going to talk about? Well, as long as we can converse back and forth, I'm sure this will take us somewhere.
Right, exactly.
But I think Jose and Full Depth Productions did a great job setting this up. I guess we'll find out when we put it out there. But
I'm a fan. I like the vibe.
I'm pumped with how this looks. He worked hard to put everything together, so it's only going to go up from here. But yeah, so tell us a little bit about Aries and when you started, everything like that, your background that led you to that.
Sure. So I'll kind of go back, and then because everything kind of leads and steps forward. So basically, I grew up in like a little village, like I talked earlier. I grew up in Europe. My mom brought me over here with my stepdad when I was 9. So I came from a whole entire different world. The world I'm used to is work nonstop. All you do is work. You go outside. You enjoy nature. You enjoy your neighbors. You enjoy your family. I came from a world where we had issues with communism. So when it comes to freedom of speech, when it comes to having an idea, when it comes to even be able to progress forward, it just wasn't there until the 80s, late 70s, where democracy kind of took hold. So I came over. I was always through my first years going through school and everything, I was the outsider. My English was horrendous because I came to learn no English. I was cross-eyed, which happened when I was like little. So you have this cross-eyed kid, glasses, no English, just completely out there. So I grew up, I was picked on, but I never really even looked at it as picked on. I just thought it was just, okay, I'm different. So whatever, I just gotta, do my thing and kind of just show people how I'm different. So just kind of like that's the background to me.
Okay.
Like I kind of always wanted challenges to myself. Ever since I was young, I wanted people to have doubt in what I'm capable of, so I can go, okay, cool, let me show you how I can do it. So anyway, I went to school. I always had like honors classes. Other than English, I literally had every other honors class. And until this day, my English is still horrendous. So anyway, fast forward to like the end of high school. My kid's mom, I met her. We had a kid. I started working like 2-3 jobs. I had a corporate job. So that's where everything kind of started. I had a corporate job with Coca-Cola. And then through hard work, I worked my way all the way up to running districts. So I ran Philly, I ran parts of New Jersey, so forth. Now, there came a time where I realized the deeper you go in the corporate world, the hard work isn't relevant anymore. It's really like chess. It's kind of like they pick and choose who they want, where they want, and so forth. And I just saw that I wasn't the person they wanted to be moved up or done anything with. The company kept restructuring. The structuring was a pure sign of them trying to save money. Okay, when you're trying to save money, you're always going to limit things. You're going to make cuts. You're going to put extra work with the same pay on everybody. So I started looking at what else I could do. Also during that time, I was also bouncing at night, almost like 3-4 nights. So I was bouncing to like 2 a.m., fighting people, and then taking naps and going to work. So, hey, listen, if you're a bouncer, if you decide to be a bouncer, don't be an asshole, okay? Just relax, let them yell at you. Once they touch you, then you'll get beat them up, because you're fine. But I promise you, the minute you touch somebody before they do, you're going to be in court and you're done. So the most dangerous people I've ever met in my life were the most quietest. The loudest were always the biggest pussies. So I did that, and it just wasn't there. It just wasn't, I just wasn't in, I just felt stuck. So I've always been in the fitness world for over like 10 years. You know, just like the hard work part, I fell in love with fitness. I was never a sports guy. I never watched sports. Like my step family was huge on sports, not me, kind of just didn't fall into it. You know, I didn't gamble, game, nothing. I didn't really do anything that the normal people do. So I got into the gym part. I remember seeing Vin Diesel and The Rock, and I was like, damn, I want to be like those guys. So I got into the gym, self-taught, went through the whole process. Tons of years, literally nothing changed in my body, but I learned so much. I learned a lot through supplements, shopping different supplement stores, things that I love, so forth. And I picked up a lot of knowledge, and I realized, okay, maybe this is something that I love to do. I train people a lot too, but I realized I'm very tough. I always expected too much from people, which I think a lot had to do with because how much hard work I put into things. So I figured, you know, maybe if I go into the supplement world with a store, I can help them with their purchases and actually going in the right direction with supplementation to help them on that side. So, and that's what kind of what Aries fell into. So I started looking around, and I was like, okay, cool. I'll open a supplement store. I'll work for the corporate world and kind of have like a side business. And the deeper I got into it, I gave up the corporate world, and I went full blown into the supplement store. Now, supplement stores, there's a dime a dozen, like literally a dime a dozen. So the way I started is, first I wanted to, you know, the name and the image to stand for something. So Aries is literally God of War. That's literally what it means, okay? So to me, like, I always idolized warriors from history. Samurais, Vikings, Spartans, all these guys, they just had a purpose. Whatever that purpose was, which was war, but fighting, they just did it. So I went, with the God of War kind of for that aspect. Because at the end of the day, most of us, when we go to the gym, that's our battleground.
Right.
Like
well, I remember, you and I were at the gym for probably, it was probably a full year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we've had more than 5 conversations in a gym together. But we ended up being there at the same time of day. See each other, give each other a head nod, and keep working. So I could tell by, just like you said, your upbringing and your background, that's how you were taking it into the gym.
Yeah, it wasn't a social gathering for me. If I want to socialize, I'll socialize after I'm done.
Yep.
It was get the work done. So that's where that kind of ideology, that God of War, because technically you're going to war to a certain degree. That's what it stands for. And I wanted to make sure that the logo was, huge, because at the end, I remember when I shopped in supplement stores, I always bought their clothing, right? But there was never any clothing that kind of stuck out for me, where it was like, damn, I want to rock this all the time. So I wanted to make sure the logo had strength to it, but at the same time, it would hit across all barriers, and it wasn't just, one group friendly.
Right.
So I had tons of different logos I was finding, and I literally sent them out to everybody, from gym people to regular girls to regular guys to non-gym, the whole nine, to get their idea. And at the end of the day, they felt they liked the one I came with. So that's the beginning start, right? Then how can I make my store different? Okay, so I was the location I found nearby was next to a Planet Fitness. Okay, so I always kind of had in the back of my head to have like a shake bar, and it made sense because Planet Fitness doesn't have one in there right next door. There could be some extra sales, but but what would make it different? Well, I wanted more of a lounge environment. So when you do come in that area, you feel kind of like not a club, but a fitness type environment where you can just sit down, hang out. There's either music playing, or a movie or something. It's free space. You can bullshit. You can have full-blown conversations about actual fitness or whatever it is. So I created that area.
Well, I can fully appreciate that because this table you're sitting at is our kitchen table. We're in the kitchen. So we're working our way through. But we always joke, Jose and I and Samantha, we always joke that sometimes this is what holds things together. You know, at the end of the workout, guys sit down, they eat their meals,
true.
They have the microwave, they have their drink. Everybody's talking, whether it's training, life, whatever. But they sit down at the table, they have conversations. I've had people come in here and sit at the table with no intention of working out that day. Just they need to come sit at the table.
I talk, yeah.
Absolutely. They'll come sit at the table. You can have a conversation. So this table here, which is pretty funny, we found it in the local dump. We put to the side by an uncle. I got a picture sent to me. He said, "Somebody put this in the trash. You want it?" We put it to the side. Absolutely.
Yeah,
we went over and picked. It's funny. Something from the dump is so crucial to what we're building here. Just like you said, that lounge at your place. Absolutely.
And table is what holds a family together, right? At the end of the day, if you don't have dinner at home with your family, where are you gathering? You gather in front of TV, they're on the phone. You gather somewhere else, they're on somewhere else. So what you said is that's like the center ground. But yeah, back to the store. Okay, so inside the store, all right, what makes it unique? Everybody sells supplements. What's so special? You can just go online and buy a supplement, right, Pat? Yeah, you could. So number one, I wanted to make sure I wanted to stick to the integrity and actually selling good product, okay? So that has a lot to do with it when it comes to business aspects. So every supplement store will go, I sell the best stuff. You know, everything I sell is good. But what ends up happening is on the business side, because behind the scenes is the business side, what a lot of times with supplement stores it happens is they notice the higher margins are on the shittier products, and they start leaning towards that because the profit on the initial sales is so much more enticing, which in turn turns them into everybody else, like that way. When you go through higher brands, which have the ingredients that are actually necessary to get it done, they're going to be more pricey. Your margins are going to be smaller, so you have to basically decide at that point, am I going for the instant nut or am I going for the long game by creating consistent, truthful customers that were going to be loyal? Because at the end of the day, if the customer came in and bought something budget friendly, it was crap, they didn't see any difference from using it, they're going to be back online, okay? But if they came in and bought a product that they actually felt, they're more likely to return to you. After that, after you have the setup, right, of all the supplements are actually, the brands are actually high quality. And again, you sprinkle in there your budget friendly products. These are for people that just want something on a budget, and you explain to them, why it's on a budget and so forth. After that, you have to create an experience. All right, so at the end of the day, everything you do in life, if it's from going on a date, going shopping in a store, getting groceries, supplement store, even going to the gym, the only reason you return to that location is if the experience was what you were looking for. So my goal was to basically create an experience for the consumer when they walk into the store that's unique, that they can't get from online, they can't get from other people. And that's what always has been my drive. That, and also making sure I can always stay ahead of my competition. At the end of the day, it's great to have competition. It really is. If you have competition, it makes you work so much harder to make yourself different.
Yeah,
and
innovate,
so forth.
whatever it takes.
But I was always big, and a lot of everything I did is I put it into, if I walked into the store, because I've shopped in every fucking supplement store out there before that, from your corporate GNCs to all your other regular supplement stores. I seen a difference. I know exactly which direction they went. And there was a lot that I truly, truly liked. And there was some that was just like, yo, this is ridiculous. And I then returned to them. So everything I chose to do was like, okay, if I step to the door, am I gonna return here? Am I gonna want to return to here? So knowledge, right? That's huge. Don't fucking lie to your customers. If a customer comes in, right, and you're selling them, let's say amino acids, okay? We both know you need 5 grams of leucine. right? Like that's a given. Like this, if you don't get a full serving of 5 grams of leucine, you're not. What the fuck? Well, there's a lot of aminos that are half-ass.
Right.
Well, are you gonna tell them this is good, or are you gonna just keep it honest with them and tell them, look, man, this is a little under. You might need to double scoop it or so forth. Well, a lot of people won't. So keep it real with the knowledge. Look, keep your budget-friendly products. Keep it real with the customers, and they will know. Customers, and just like people, they'll know bullshit if you're lying to
They'll
them.
feel it.
And if they don't feel it, they're gonna find out down the line, because then they'll see their friend and be like, "Why'd you buy this?" "Oh, he said this was great." "Wait, he told me this was great."
Right.
So keep it honest. At the end of the day, customer will be happy for it. So I did that. The final part is I wanted to bring a lot of celebrities, pro athletes, provide access to the consumers that they normally don't have. So the first year I had 5 different events the first year. The 2 biggest events was a summer event and then my anniversary event. The summer event, I was like shocked for the turnout. It was like 6 months in. I had around 20 vendors. I remember I had I think almost 10 different pros. Some of them flew down from Cali and so forth. And I mean, it was like almost, I think over 300 people showed up that day. And it ended up being awesome. That was a huge event. But 1 year anniversary, again, tons of vendors, over 15, tons of pros. I had another event where I brought Mike Rashid down from California.
I remember that, yep.
Man, that thing was an 8-hour event. Like, if you came to that event, man, and you like Mike Rashid, man, holy shit. Like, this dude with Mark, Sean, they're all business partners, and Mark Lobrine, of course. These guys gave over 3 hours Q&A, where they talked for 3.5 hours just to everybody and gave them all the information they need. And then the VIP part, because I set up like a VIP part, and it wasn't nothing special. You just buy their products, X amount of dollars, you get VIP.
Right.
We went down to the local gym, we trained in there. You got to train with Mike. Like,
Yeah.
fuck, how can you, like, the fact that, you could say that you trained with Mike Rashid himself as a group,
Yeah.
is just like a highlight
And
of
you
its
can
own.
tell those guys love what they do.
Yeah.
If they're willing to put the time in to do
Yeah.
so. You see a lot of guys across the board that, oh yeah, I'll come do meet and greet, shake some hands, wave, kiss some babies, and get out of town.
Yeah.
And people can tell who's the real
Yes, and that's the other thing too, is I wanted the people to see that a lot of these pros, they're just like us.
Mm-hmm.
Like Mike Rashid, I remember when I was dropping them guys off to the airport, for the whole hour ride, he didn't bring up anything about money, anything about like social life or nothing. All he talked about was like his upbringing, what he went through, how he built up himself, the shit he went through, business things, and just life in general.
Right.
I remember I had John Meadows, right? I flew John Meadows down from Ohio. Man, I wish I knew more about football, because this dude, man, he is a fucking football fanatic. His kids play football. The state he lives in is like a huge football town, and the whole state itself, his sons play on the teams. But he was funny, man, because I picked him up. He was coming from my anniversary event, so I picked him up, and I was like, John, let's do a quick training session for, we'll do a video, and then the event's the next day. So we stayed at a hotel. I picked him up. I'm like, John, I'm gonna take you to the airport. You want to take a shower, and I'll come back pick you up? He said, no, I'm just gonna go right to train. I'm like, all right.
Okay.
He's like, yeah, I like to get out of the train and go get out the airplane and go train. I'm like, all right. I'm like, John, can we go like to the store and get some like aminos, get some carbs in us, maybe a little pre? He's like, sure, why not? So we went, we trained, and I'm like, look, dude, I gotta get something to eat. Like, we gotta eat. He's like, yeah, I don't eat that much. I'm like, the fuck you mean? You're a bodybuilder. He's like, yeah, I eat like twice a day. I'm like, whatever, I'm taking you. So I took him to this nice, it's a restaurant, Reverse Malaga. It's been in Trenton for like 25 years. Spaniard, Portuguese food, a lot of seafood. So I took him there. He's like, look, dude, I don't eat that much. Cool, I'll get you some empanadas, and then we get like the Malaga dish with a bunch of fish. Dude, he ate the empanadas with me, and he was full. I'm like, you're killing me, dude. You gotta take this to the hotel room. But like, it was just it. But he's such a laid-back guy, man. All he talked about is family.
Right.
Like, he was so happy to be able to talk to people at the anniversary event. Like, I would see him talking to people for more than 10 or 15 minutes. Like, take the time. And it's just a lot of these pros, and that's, and it's great, because you don't really see that, man. Like, we have these celebrities, people worship instead of admire. I think we're
Yeah,
past that
absolutely.
admiring part. We're literally at a fucking worshiping where one celebrity says something and you just like you'll kill other people if they
Absolutely.
go against it. So,
Yeah.
but these guys don't give a shit.
How's his health? I heard.
I spoke to
setback.
him. I spoke to him a couple of days ago. I spoke to him also after he got back home and everything, and he's fine, man. I mean, he's back to training the whole nine.
Good.
He just said it was like his third time at life. Third time at life. So I was like, all right, keep grinding, man. So
Absolutely. So you built all this up. You went in this direction. Clearly, you know what your plan was because the way you articulated it to me right there. So, let's say 6 months ago. What were you planning to do 6 months ago?
Yeah.
And where are you now because of the situation at hand? You know, where are we now? Are we on pause? Are we on overdrive? Are we on survival? What are we doing?
So my original plan was to build a name for the store. That was the original plan. I had the event set up, everything with the events, from clothing, from the logo, from everything that was launched, was to literally build up the brand. The brand is Aries.
What year was that? When did you actually open up?
November 2018.
Because you were right after me. I opened May 18 officially to the public, and I knew
November.
you were right after me at some point.
It was like it was the week before, it was like a couple of days before Black Friday. So it was right November 2018. So everything in the beginning was to kind of build the brand. Because at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, it's a supplement store, but it's really just a brand. Like, I'm more leaning heavier towards clothing now with the brand. I didn't go towards the supplement side with creating like a supplement line, because the reality situation is, if I create a supplement line right now, that's the only fucking thing I'd be pushing on people's throat. And it's not fair to them. It's not fair to the consumer. To even create a supplement line, you either need multiple locations to flush it out, and then afterwards, you need access to other supplement stores to carry your stuff. So it's a completely another direction. You have to invest in a lot more on that side. So I kind of wanted to hold that on the back end and more of collaborate with individual brands. That's why I did a collaboration with 2 different companies where I took a product that was already selling amazing, created its a label and a flavor, and it was just exclusive for the store.
Right.
So it was the only location. Now, once I did that, Egg Harbor thing popped up. That was like out of the blue. I wasn't actually planning to do that. Chris reached out to me from Attilas. So that ended up being like, it's a store, right? It's a front supplements. You sell the supplements there, provide access to the brands that location doesn't have. So like I said, I have a lot of exclusivities on a lot of brands. A lot of those brands you can't find on that side of New Jersey. But a lot of that was set up more for marketing with the Aries name. To me, it's not really a store unless it's a complete separate island entity. So before this whole COVID shit came, my idea was to get another location open. Like my plan was literally by November to open a second location. I don't want to mention where, but that was the plan. So the whole scare-ademic came and paused everything. It paused me a lot. I took a hit, but I survived. It just basically, I was lucky enough to, my store is very diverse. It's not just fucking pre-workout protein and SARMs.
Right.
Like, it's got everything. So the stuff that stopped selling because the gym's closed, the other categories started to sell. So that's basically where I was.
More of the health end?
Health.
Day to day?
Health, but really snacks and drinks, man.
Gotcha.
It's freaking amazing how people won't invest into health unless the TV tells them to. So the first month when all that shit happened, well, I'll get into that in a second because that's going to be a whole fucking, that's going to be a huge one. Anyway, the plan is still to get another location. That's still the plan. At the moment right now, I'm waiting to see how this plays out because realistically, dude, this shit ain't going to end till November.
Right. And
then whatever happens in November election would dictate where this goes. One side wins, it'll just fucking maybe keep going with it. When the other side wins, it might just fucking end and call it a day. So that's really kind of waiting for that aspect to see how that plays out. But the plan is still to have a second location for sure. Now with the health aspect, it's very sad to see how people don't invest in general in their health. So basically, like the first 2-3 weeks, man, when the media was going crazy with this shit. And I get it. We didn't know what the hell was going on, man. We got to play it safe.
Absolutely.
The whole world didn't know what to do. And you know, and the reality of the situation is, majority of the world does what USA does. So in other words, they will follow USA. So the USA shut down, so did the rest of the world. And the rest of the world didn't shut down because they were scared. They did it because USA did. That's the bottom line. It's fucking that's truth. Like that's the bottom line. So the first couple weeks, the media said get vitamin D, get zinc, the whole nine, right? So people invested in health, right? After that, it was put a mask on and fuck your health. Mm-hmm. Like you have a mask on, you'll be perfectly fine. It's the reality situation is we have the fucking cure. The cure is in our body. It's called our immune system, right? And after the first 2-3 weeks, if you look at the data, even if you pull from around the world, we got an idea of what was going on. It's literally the cold, it attacks your lungs. If you're over 70 and non-active, you are at a beyond crazy risk. Other than that, you're probably going to be fine. 99.9.6%, you're going to be fine. So, great. Take care of your immune system, and you might not even get a symptom at the end of the day. But it's not explained that way. You know what I'm saying? It's outtrade the immune system versus, mask and social distancing.
Right.
That's like we just kind of just gave up with that. And if for anywhere that thinks that the government is actually there to help us, nah, man. If they were there to help us, everything would be shut down. Like if you're gonna tell me there's a pandemic and you're gonna pick and choose shit you want to shut down, shut everything fucking down.
Right.
Okay. Nobody says you can't shut down supermarkets. You can deliver food. When everything's shut down, all the delivery services were hiring like crazy. So trust me, you'd be able to get your food. You would just be sitting your ass home.
There's a little business right here that's been going in overdrive.
Mm-hmm.
They can't keep up doing the same thing.
So
the amount of things they're getting out there. Yeah.
So that's the whole thing. Like, listen, if it's really for safety, cool, shut the fuck down, okay? But then when you go, I'm gonna leave this open because I get more tax money off it versus this. Then you're picking and choosing who can stay open, who can't stay open, and then you start making all these crazy rules, and then you have people fighting each other over what's right and wrong, and then the politics gets moved in and all this stuff. When at the end of the day, it's look, and this is my opinion, but when it comes down to it, it's if your immune system is fine, you're gonna be fucking fine. The reality situation is when this is over, there's gonna be a shitload of people sick from literally making sure the immune system isn't working, because the immune system will work just like your muscle. Okay, if you're benching 315 and then you decide not to bench for 2 months, you're going to be benching 135. So if you decide for your immune system not to fight regular bacteria that's coming in, not to take regular germs that are coming in, it will stop working the same way like it does. So that's my whole.
So how long were you? How long did it affect you specifically? Are you like shut down still? Are you partially?
I never shut down because I was considered essential.
Well, that's what I was asking.
Yeah, because I have the health subs. Mm-hmm. Because I have the health subs, I was able to stay open. But the health subs only sold in the beginning, like the first month, and then snacks and drinks sold a lot. A lot of people got their own like home gyms, for example, so they were picking up like proteins and a couple of things here and there. But for the most part, it was running slow. I know like some of the corporate stores, they benefited by literally selling tons of masks. Well, the consumer that goes to the stores is literally buying masks because they believe that a mask will save them from the Black Plague at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it was tough. Now, PA kind of opened up. Literally everybody's going to PA. So, the business kind of went back up to not the same, but close enough. And then we just see how everything goes, man. Because, this shit ain't going to end. Like, it's the reality situation is, we first thing we do is, get the curve down. Cool, we got the curve down. We got to get the deaths down. We got the deaths down. Now, the minute you get there's 10 extra positive cases, we got issues. What?
Right. Well, it is funny, like you said too, because well, once you see that the health is important, well, we should be pushing the health, everybody's health. Instead, it's like, well, just hold on. Well, let's wait for this vaccine. So stay at home, let your health deteriorate, and wait for medicines. When, if we were treating our bodies correctly, just like you said, we'd be staving off a lot of these issues anyway.
And the hypocrisy of the vaccine is just the same hypocrisy we're dealing with everything every day, right? So I'm a person that wants everything closed or certain things closed so I don't get sick, right? Just so I can get a vaccine that's going to shoot me with the virus to get sick. So I'm going to repeat that again. I don't want to get positive and get sick, but I want somebody to shoot me with some chemicals to get me sick from the same thing so I can build an immune system.
Well, you can follow the money.
Antibodies.
You can
Yeah.
follow the money all the way through with everything. You know, they just we've been trained to look for the cure. Look for the medicine that'll take care of you. And
Big farm.
At no point are you taught anywhere in school or on TV anywhere about nutrition, how to take care of yourself. People don't know how to.
Correct.
So we are lazy. I get lazy. I've been lazy a lot lately. However, there's people who don't know. They simply do not have the knowledge to even be healthy. If they went in and said, you are sick in these ways, and they're looking at the doctor, they're expected the doctor is going to say, take these medicines.
Correct.
So even when the doctors go to school, they don't spend the amount of time they need to on how to be healthy, how to eat, how to take care of your body. They're there to say, here's where you're at. If you need something, take this. Here's your answer. So at no point are we given the knowledge to take care of ourselves the way it should be.
And even if you go back through time, we survived living in the damn forests, swamps, and the whole nine. If you go into like huge plagues that wiped us out, let's just say Black Plague, right, which killed 1/3 of Europe, that was fucking self-made. And what I mean by self-made is it was carried through rats, through the humans. Where the rats came from, the trash and filth that was in Europe during that time. So it was a self-made, technically a disease that was wiping everything out. So at the end of the day, man, listen, if our immune system sucked so bad, we'd be gone a long time ago. It's a lot of simple things, man. Sun, stay active, supplement with your regular health subs, right? Because you're not going to get the regular fruit, vegetables that you would eat from the wild. So you want to supplement with a lot of those vitamins you normally don't have access to because you're eating a lot, processed and so forth. And 99.999% you're going to be fine.
Right.
You get a sniffle or something, and that's about it. But
Well, it's funny, even our food, so I won't get into details because I'm by no means an expert on it, but they talk about our monocrops where you can drive through Iowa and see miles of corn, and then they'll replant. They might rotate one crop, but they're even talking about our dirt, how depleted our dirt is of the nutrients. And like you said, I think you said it perfectly, when you're walking through the forest, everything's together. So everything decays, everything goes back into the dirt. So
it's a cycle.
Exactly. So the entire cycle works. Whereas, the way we take care of even our food nowadays, let alone humans, well, all right, we're going to do miles of corn. They might do miles of soybean again, but chances are they're going to do another 3 years of miles of corn. Well, there's none of those nutrients that the first 2 years of corn took out of the ground have been put back in.
And you got to do a lot of fertilizing to get that.
That's what I mean. So now you're getting into artificial fertilizers and everything, which, that's, like you said earlier, that could be a whole nother topic.
Yep.
So, across the board, all the information we have is really nothing. It's noise because we don't have like the baseline. We need these nutrients. We get it from here. This is how it happens. This is how you take care of your body. This is what healthy is. How does this work in the body? Yeah. And instead it's, oh, well, you're all right. Just make sure you move around a little bit. Well, your heart's not working great because you're not moving around. So take this medicine. Right. So it's a tough situation where we're at today, but it works well. It works well because it makes money.
Correct. And even so, let's just say we go away from that aspect and we go into health besides COVID, right? People don't like to spend money on health. Like, people would rather go in, buy a pre-workout, buy pro hormones, and walk out, than actually pick up some liver support, pick up some maybe immune support, or even digestion support, and roll out. Like, it's, I think a lot of it has to do with bro science, too. And so I remember before the fucking Instagram, Facebook, the whole nine, right? Bro science was just in the gym. Okay? So you had fucking your chemists in the gym, your health individuals that know your health. Take some milk thistle and put all these chemicals in you, and you'll be perfectly fucking fine. You'll be huge. Just keep rolling. Just keep going. Yeah, you're fine. Look at me. I'm great. All right. So once we got past that, we got social media. Now our bro science is from Instagram fuckboys, Instagram hoes, who have no fucking knowledge for training. Their videos are cut up, filtered, the whole nine, and you have this young generation idolizing nobodies.
Right.
Like, literally nobody. I remember somebody was at the owner, not the Olympia a couple years ago, and they were telling me, for example, Dorian Yates. Dorian Yates is a fucking legend. Only a handful of people waiting to meet him, while an Instagram fitness girl, who accomplished zero, other than comments and followers, no shows, no nothing, had a line all the way down.
Right.
What? The fuck? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So, I think it's just sad, man, because again, health, the basics, it just bypassed, man. And then,
well, it's also funny, even the guys that have made it. I remember when, just like you said, when I was in high school, I think Facebook existed. I definitely didn't have one at the time, but I remember having, I don't remember which one it was, but like Muscle and Fitness with Ronnie Coleman.
Yeah, the magazines. Yeah.
So you had the magazines. That was our social media, if you will. That's the only way to get that. But it was him saying, take this Celtec or whatever back then, and you will basically, they had him on there saying, you'll be me. Yeah, you'll be me.
You'll be screaming and lifting 800 pounds.
And you're like, yeah, that? Okay. And it's just on the shelf at GNC? Okay, I'm in.
And listen, man, and you fall for it. Look, man, I remember falling for all the muscle tag ads. Like, this guy has gained 30 pounds from using this fucking whey concentrated clump of dirt protein. And I'm like, all right, probably works. No, nope, that's a lie. So again, and all that stuff, for example, is, again, it goes back to why I made the store. I made the store. Like, I had a guy come in the other day, and he's like, I want to get rid of his belly. But I don't work out, I don't do this, I need a fat burner, this and that. So I explained to him a couple of things, and he wanted like a precise. I feel like he wanted to hear, take this, you'll be fine, you lose the belly. But no, this is how this works, this is how it works. Then he goes, oh, what about this belt? And it was like the belt you put on when you have the cream to make you sweat and get that thermogenic effect. He's like, this work? I'm like, nah, dude, you have to get the cream, this and that. He's like, wow, you keep telling me the truth. I'm like, where have you been shopping?
Do you have a problem with it?
Yeah, I'm like, where have you been shopping, dude? I'm like, dude, you got to lift some weights. You got to be active. I'm like, I can suppress your appetite. Here, take this. Right. The stimulants, it will suppress your appetite. I was like, as long as you have any issues. Like, yeah, I had a little cut. I'm like, so you had, surgery by your heart's affected? Yeah. You can't take caffeine? Yeah. Okay, then no, you can't have this either. Oh, I thought you wanted to give it to me. I'm like, no, dude. Like, he's like, wow, you keep telling me the truth. I'm like, am I in the fucking Twilight Zone right now?
Yeah.
So, so that's the whole piece with the integrity and the knowledge and the stuff like that. So, it's just a shame, man. It just, I wish you can't change what it is, right? People in general, you would just be naive and so forth. All you can do is do your best is to kind of just give truthful information. If a person truly wants to listen, they're going to be grateful for it, right? If a person doesn't want to listen, you tried, and that's it.
Well, they're accustomed to being lied to, even if they don't want to admit that they know that they're being lied to. They just want to, like, I mean, they're looking for the quick answer, but they don't even care. They don't even care. I mean, in the end, if the placebo effect on top of it. I mean, sometimes you get these. Well, I gained this much. I got this strong. Well, if you were moving with confidence for the last month in your workouts versus before where you were tired, of course you got gains in yourself in the last month. That's what confidence will do to you.
Simple mind over matter, right?
Right. So I mean, there's so many different things that go into play, but it is nice when you can share information, and like you said, sometimes people don't want that truth. They don't want that, even if it is the truth. But yeah, I mean, so what is your plan now? So you wanted to open up another place.
I wanted to, and that's still the plan.
Right.
I'm just basically all I'm doing is I'm waiting to see how this whole COVID thing plays out, because there's no point to even looking or setting anything up for a place just so you could be shut down.
Exactly.
Yeah, if the gyms aren't open, that's majority of your business.
Well, it's funny. So Jose's been with me since day one when we were building this place, and we were talking about business here and there. And I had a guy that I know. He sent it to me a couple times, and you don't think COVID either, but he always said, if you're going to run it, you always have to make sure that you have 2.5 months worth of payments. Like you have to have that at all time. So we've talked a couple times. I'm gonna buy this. Maybe I'll hold it off. I'll do this, do that. So I said that a couple times, and each time you're kind of like, what am I gonna need 2.5 months for? And then all of a sudden this comes around. So I was okay, but at the same time we're sitting there kind of, how long is this gonna last? What's gonna happen? So once we were able to do the stuff outside, now we're trying to rebuild. So I've had people since then say, well, what's your plan? You're gonna do this, you're gonna do that. Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna hunker down. I'm trying to rebuild here a little bit, because if they're gonna come in and say you're not allowed to do this, you're not allowed to do that, I need to be prepared. They just showed me that they're willing to do it. So if I got to hang out in my cool garage here for the next another 2 months, I got to be prepared. So we took risks. We took chances. I think it was Friday. It was a Friday. So Monday, the governor came out and said everything's shut down. You're done. The Friday before that, I had seen that our local athletes, schools were going to be shut down for a little bit. This was going to be shut down for a little bit. So we discussed it multiple times. I doubled down at that point, and I spent the money, quite a bit of money, to be able to build out back.
Yes.
So it was a kick in the teeth when Monday came around and he said, you're done. And I'm like, not only am I done for a bit, I don't know how long a little bit is, and I just spent that money. So it gave me a little bit of anxiety. It was nervous times, but honestly, it gave us the time to do things right. I cleaned things up back there correctly. I rebuilt some things back there, lined it all up. So the day he said outdoor batting cages are open, I had my message
everybody
out.
really is doing at this point is just surviving.
Well, I think this whole thing was a test, because, I mean, we've had our situations with the economy over the last 10, 15 years, but, you get comfortable. You get comfortable. Well, nothing's ever been real bad. They've threatened us and this and that, and the economy's been threatened. But this was a little bit of a test. I mean, I was talking to a financial guy, and he said there was a bicycle shop that opened 3 weeks before everything was shut down.
Wow.
He may have sold how many, when you first, maybe he sold 10, 15 bikes, and now he had to ride that out. So who knows how much he invested in. That was just, that's unlucky. That's poor timing. I mean, not poor timing, that's unlucky. It's not like he planned on knowing what was going on. But at the same time, there's a lot of businesses out there that are strapped thin, running pretty inefficiently. And this has, I think, been a gut check for all of us, no matter how safe we think we were playing or anything. So
I agree. It's definitely an eye opener. It's definitely an eye opener.
I mean, I've watched gym after gym. I had conversations with different people. Everybody had to go online, the Zoom classes. I train a lot of athletes here, and that's not really my style, but after 2 weeks, okay, well, it's going to be another little bit. We're going to be a little bit longer, another 3. I had to open up Zoom classes. So all my athletes, they bared with me. But I started sending out my workouts. Here's a at-home based workout. I even sent some stuff home, the bands and small weight. I didn't send no barbells out.
No, 'cause
Yeah, no. But
Those are
I sent
expensive.
I said, here's some tools. Here's the best I can give you. You'll be emailed the workouts, and then we started putting it together. You had to learn how to switch.
switch gears and
Yeah,
adapt.
absolutely. So I think it's sad because there's going to be a lot that don't survive this in different industries, but at the same time, this is going to those of us that do survive. It's going to teach you to be able to switch gears. It's going to show you that you can't be safe in certain regards. You can't be single-minded. You can't just be on this track right here. You got to be able to make adjustments.
Switch around, yeah.
So it's first-hand experience, And I was talking to Jose. I definitely wanted to bring you in because I knew how young your business was. I could relate completely. Different industry, but I could relate completely just because of the age of it. And I definitely wanted to hear how it affected you. I was interested to know whether or not you were able to stay open at the beginning because of those health supplements.
Yeah.
But that's good.
That helped. And I'm telling you
Absolutely.
right now, man, if I was forced to be closed, I'd be running to the fucking back door.
Yep.
Like, it is what it is.
Well, I did have one question for you because a lot of my athletes are, high school, college, pro. They have to take NSF certified supplements. Do you sell those in the store, or do you have access to them?
Yeah. So basically, what happens is whenever it comes into like what is it, WAC? I think it's there's another
Yes,
one.
okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
and then that I basically just double check which one falls into what. What ends up happening is a lot of companies, they have to pay a crap load of money to get put on that list.
Right. They have to be proven. I think it's I researched it's like every 6 months that whatever it's being made in that facility has to be checked.
Yeah.
So there is a lot of guidelines. There's a lot of stipulations.
Yeah,
But
so-
they come in, they ask me, what do I need? And so I have to go on the NSF website and then find it.
And then go there. So there is a couple brands that I do have that have the items on there. And it's a shame because there's so many other brands that fit
Right.
into criteria, but they don't have the money to just pile into that category, basically not category, but into that, so they can get checked and so forth. But no, I do have a couple brands here.
Well, that was my other question. Not so much for you because I know the legal answer to it, but like we were researching something. I don't even forget what supplement it was, but it on Amazon, I think it said made in an NSF certified factory. It did not have the stamp because the business didn't have.
Oh,
go
so the
through check.
manufacturer.
So they're trying to tell you they're made in an NSF certified facility, but their brand is not NSF certified.
So what happens is if that's the case, that means they're covered. Because here's what happens: that brand, if it's made in a factory that's certified like that, that means they're FDA certified. That means they're third party tested, the whole nine, which means what they say will actually be in the product. So when you go into the manufacturing category, so it's kind of like supplements. You have shit and you have fucking good, really good. In the manufacturing world, you have factories that are third party tested, FDA checked, so forth. So let's just say I wanted to make a pre-workout, and let's just say I wanted to put DMMA in it. Actually, it's legal, but it's out there, right? I have to find a manufacturer that's not third party tested. A third party FDA tested manufacturer would not do it.
Gotcha.
Okay, so then I have to trust this other manufacturer to put it in. Okay, well, the majority, the chances of you having DMA grill in the product on the shelf are slim to none. Because what ends up happening is, so let's just say I reach out to that manufacturer that's not third party tested. I give him the ingredients that I want in the product. He won't wait for the label to come in. He's just gonna make it.
Right.
And then the labels come in, he snaps it on. He doesn't even cross-reference the labels versus what he put in there. So that's problem number one. Problem number two is this: because he's not third-party tested, he can make your first run powerful as shit. He could put 50 milligrams in there.
Oh,
right?
I remember back in the day.
Yeah,
I remember
he could.
this. Yep.
So your first run is crazy. Hits the streets, everybody's picking it up. The second run, he might put 10 milligrams in there. It's already got the name. But then it's like, wait, don't feel the same way. But you don't
But
know.
they remember what it was.
Yes.
They remember how they felt.
Yes.
So that, well, maybe this wasn't a good
Right.
batch. Or maybe.
But at that point, because the name's already built up that it's crazy, you have all these new people buying it, and then that manufacturer makes money. Also, if a manufacturer offers a cheaper price than other manufacturers, they probably have that already set up to do down the line. Because at the end of the day, to do DMMA or even DMMAJ in a product, it's harder to get now for manufacturers. Especially DMA is like really hard. You're literally buying a legal ingredient. So it's harder to get. So they're going to have to spend more money. Well, nobody's going to check on them that they're going to cut the ingredients down. Because I know there's a guy I know in Florida. He deals with supplement companies. He helps put them together and so forth. He purposely buys any product that comes out with DMA and tests it himself. And 9 out of 10, they're all fucking shit. They really don't have it, or it's half-assed. So, but the sad part is there's a lot of stores, man. There's a lot of stores that literally will push it. They'll load their shelves up with it. There's other stores that have it sprinkled. It's there for consumer. The consumer comes in, look, man, you got DMMA? Yeah, just this one, man.
Right.
Cool. Others would be like, yeah, you want this? That's the best pre-workout. Strong. Boom, 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 boom. So again, it goes back to how the stores want to run their business and which direction they want to go. Me personally, I never went down that route. I don't. There's no reason to be cracked out when you're working out, man. And if let's say you're a powerlifter or strongman, you need to be cracked out, but you could do it without those substances.
Absolutely.
Because at the end of the day, your adrenaline receptors will get shot. What's next? Grown meth? Like,
no, I remember some of this stuff back in the day. You're taking those pre-workouts, and like later in the day, you feel like your eyes are like sucked back in your head, and you're just walking around like a zombie. That was some of the stuff we used to take.
Yeah, dude.
Right off the shelf.
The DMMA is dimethyline. So at the end of the day, if you do a drug test, like within a couple hours of taking it, you'll pee a low dose of meth. So.
But it's always tough. It's always tough to find that for those guys, and I was just curious if you sold it in the store.
It's more.
Or you can get it.
Yeah, I don't advertise it.
Right.
Never do. I don't advertise signs. I don't advertise pro hormones.
Oh no, I was talking about the NSF certified stuff.
The NSA, yes, the NSA for sure. You could find it. And again, if I need to look something up specific for a person, I do, and then I have it because I have access to a couple brands that are huge. So for Allmax, for example, Allmax has a lot of those. They specifically pay themselves. And then there's like NutriBio manufactures their products themselves. I believe they're actually certified for that as well. So yeah.
Good. I wanted to bring up your wife because she owns a business too. Right next to yours, or? It's
yeah, you might as well say right next door. There's a nail salon, and then she has a hair salon. So she's been a hairdresser for just about all her life. She came to the country. She was directly a hairdresser since then. She had her own business in Trenton. She was like one of the very first few hair salons in Trenton. And then what ended up happening is South Trenton. Basically, what happened is South Trenton used to be Hispanic mix and very Italian in the burg. She had a hair salon. There was a couple more other ones, not that many. Chambersburg switched a lot to heavy Hispanic, and also South Trenton switched to heavy Hispanic. Businesses just flourished, like completely flourished. There's tons of businesses now, but majority of the businesses are barbershops and salons. So what ended up happening is when there's so much competition, you start getting price gouging.
Yep.
Yes. So what normally should cost 40, now people are doing it for 25, and it's not realistic. So when she liked the area where I opened my store, so basically she went in a direction to open one there too, just to have more access to like this kind of like the suburb, more Hamilton and so forth, and then pulls herself out away from the city, but she could still bring the clients over. And then when she did it, she just noticed that the clients that she had from original hair salon in Trenton were just traveling to her, to the Hamilton area. So she closed the one in Trenton. She actually sold it, and and then she has the one in Hamilton, and she's doing really good. And what I mean by good is she has her clients. There's new
Right.
clients, there's old clients coming in. The COVID thing destroyed her. I mean, you're literally talking being closed for 3 months, paying every bill you can think of, and that PPP and all that government funding shit. Yeah, man. Yeah, where is it?
Mm-hmm.
So that never came.
Right.
So it's a straight loss. Luckily, the hair salon industry in general, it's picked up drastically since the reopening of the salons. Because they're just getting their hair done. I did notice there's a nail salon there that's been there for years. That's actually very slow now. So it seems like a lot less people are getting their nails done, but all the women are still getting their hair done nonstop. Barbershops, when I drive around, I see that they're busy a lot
Absolutely.
too. So yeah, she's doing good, man. It ended up being a good move for her outside of trying to move and work out.
Good. We'll have to get her over here with you too.
Yeah,
Ask her some questions.
she's a talker. She fumbles a little bit, but she's all right.
We'll get her. We'll get her going. Get you guys a little workout.
Yeah, well, she'll probably do legs for 4 hours, which would be like her half workout that she normally does. Yeah,
My
I don't know,
goodness.
man. The way to do it, man. Hey, whatever, man. It works. If it works, it works. You know what? It's funny. Like we were talking earlier. So, like her style switched to doing legs nonstop,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the way her coach has her. But the only reason it's working is because she's eating.
Right.
I'm gonna repeat that again, ladies. Okay? Because you're scared of carbs. If you want your legs and glutes to grow, overload it with volume, but eat carbohydrates. All right? And that's the bottom line. If you're going to do legs all the time and eat your salads, forget it. Your legs aren't going to get big by magically growing muscle.
Mm-hmm.
If that was the case, your leg would look like Ronnie Coleman's leg. Okay? Your leg's going to get big by the carbohydrates being shoved in there for the glycogen storage.
Right.
And the only way to do that is to deplete it and refill it. Depleting it by working out heavy, nonstop in the legs, and then refilling it by eating a shitload of carbs. And they're going to get rushed to that area. So that's a little tip there. A little tip for the ladies.
Good. Anything else you want to go over? Anything else you want to talk about? I didn't take a lot of notes today because I knew we'd be able to run through a lot,
Yeah.
and it's good.
What I would say is, just from my own thought, just with everything that's going on in the world, I think we've all lost the sense of community. I think a lot of us we're leaning too much to what I deserve versus what we can accomplish together. A lot of the things I try to do during this whole COVID thing was to do different community things, to highlight businesses, to bring free workouts outside and so forth. And I always talk about the unity of people. For any of us, I think, in my personal opinion, for any of us to get past the manipulation that's going on right now is we have to listen to each other and be open to different thoughts in general. It's just the media has us going to you're either for mask or against mask. You're either Republican or Democrat. You either hate police or you're Black Lives Matter. You're this or that. Well, whatever happened to the third choice of both together?
Right.
It's just like there's not two parties out there, guys. There's three. There's actually a third person that's running for president. There's three choices. You can support police. You can support Black Lives Matter. You can be for mask. You could be against mask together to a certain degree, but you can still be about safety. Like everything that's going on, there's a third choice of coming together, both ideas, and coming with a unified thought. So again, I'm blunt a lot of times, but at the same time, I listen to people.
Absolutely.
I have my own thoughts. I'm sure some people don't like the way I might have perceptions of things, but anybody tells me otherwise, I listen to them right away.
Yeah.
I listen
Absolutely.
to them because I need to know what your perception is, so I can see if mine needs to be adjusted.
Right.
Without that, it won't be any moving forward, man.
Absolutely.
Um,
Well, I've always said, like, for the majority of things, if you're ever caught on one side or the other, as far as an argument's concerned, you're wrong. Whether whichever side you're on, you end up being wrong in some regard, because we're all a part of it. So the answer always ends up being somewhere in the middle. The answer is somewhere in the middle. And like you said, tell me what you think. I'll tell you what I think, absolutely. But tell me what you think, because if yours makes more sense to me, you open up my eyes, I'm with you. I'm moving more towards you. We got to stop digging our feet in the sand, holding up our side, and like you said, have a conversation. Turn off the TV and go talk to your neighbor.
and I agree, man. And think about it. Have you ever won an argument where you're yelling back? No. So you can't win an argument by yelling back. At the same time, you can't fight hate with hate back, right? You can't fight for equality by creating segregation, right? You can't say, one group's better than another, or you're better than another. You're literally doing the same thing you're against, right? In politics, you can't say, this party is horrible, but do exactly what you're saying they're doing. So, at the end of the day, it's togetherness, man. It's you can't, again, you can't fight hate with hate. And I, like, perfect example is I always think back to when I was growing up as a kid. When I dealt with shit, when people picked on me, those people that don't like me and that picked on me, I never got angry about that or anything. I just said, cool, I'll prove you wrong. I remember even when I worked in the corporate world. Listen, I'm in the corporate world. My hobbies are gym, eating 6 times out of fucking Tupperware in the office, right? And wearing tight clothes. Okay. So, and then you're in the corporate world versus everybody else who has happy hour, plays fantasy football, has a belly, right? And wears big ass clothes. Okay. So, yeah, I'm different. I'm not in the norm. I get made fun of, so forth. But I'm like, all right, cool. You're making fun of me because you think you're smarter than me. Because I'm a meathead. I got a Tupperware, right? I wear tight clothes. Right? Just. So cool. I'm gonna prove you wrong, not by getting mad. I'm gonna laugh, and then I'm gonna go out there, and I'm gonna get this shit done. And you're gonna be like, "Fuck, how do you do it?" Well, because you could do it. So that's how I always was.
Right.
Just that way, man. Like I literally, I feed of negativity. Of somebody tells me you can't get that done. Great.
Yep.
Time to get that shit done. So that's just kind of how it was. But
Well, I'll have to come join you at your lounge over there and have a drink, and you come sit with me at our table when we open up. We'll come sit at the kitchen table, have some conversations.
That's how it's done, man.
Sound good?
For sure, brother.
I appreciate it. Thanks for coming.
Thank you, brother. Thanks, man. Thanks.
See you
man.
soon. Absolutely.